How you doing? How you feeling? Bro, I feel amazing today. But what am I saying? Welcome, folks, to this week's podcast episode of Search and Report. I am your host, True Fernie, and we have a lot to talk about this week. This week was hell. It was hell in the gaming world. It was like a limbo because it was both good and bad. So as I've already rambled on too long, I'm just gonna go straight into the first news item of the week. I know I sound like a broken record, but man, Cyberpunk 2077, like they keep hitting bedrock, and they're like, you know what? Let me keep digging. Let me glitch out of the map and just go like 20,000 feet underground. Like, Jesus Christ, man. There was just last night a Bombshell article was released by Bloomberg's very own Jason Schreier. He is a games journalist. I'm sure you've heard, I'm sure you read some of his stuff. I'm sure even if you follow gaming news, I'm sure you follow him on Twitter. He's been very vocal about studios that are crunching. He's an investigative journalist. He goes and like interviews all these developers and, you know, brings to light a lot of things that maybe a lot of studios don't want to bring up to light, so to speak. But recently he did, not even recently, it was just last night, January 15th at 11 p.m. my time. He released a very, very detailed report as to what happened throughout the whole process of leading up to the release of Cyberpunk 2077. Here he says, inside Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous rollout, developers say they knew the game wasn't ready to be released publicly. Now, CD Projekt Red did recently tweet out a video response from Marcin Iwinski. I'm sure I'm not saying his name correctly, but the CD Projekt chief executive officer, the CEO, he made a public statement, a public mea culpa, basically saying that, you know, they really did not, they kind of overstated, or they just didn't grasp the scope of what Cyberpunk 2077 was gonna be, which I mean, honestly, if you have developers in your team, just listen to them. I'm sure they know way more than the CEO does. You know, if they say the game isn't ready to release, don't release it, you know. But here, Jason wrote, Iwinski's apology, the second within a month, was an attempt to restore the Polish company's reputation with scores of fans and investors who had waited 8 years for the game, only to discover it was riddled with bugs and performance issues when it was finally released. Uproar over the botched debut caused a 30% drop in CD Projekt shares from December 10th through mid-January. This is something I did report back last month. Their shares took a huge dip. 30%, just that's a lot of value, you know, completely erased from your brand, from your stock. However, here Jason does continue to report. This is something that he's been working up leading to Cyberpunk's release. He did interviews with more than 20 current and former CD Projekt staff. They say that they depicted a development process marred by unchecked ambition, poor planning, and technical shortcomings. Employees discussing the game's creation for the first time described a company that focused on marketing at the expense of development, and an unrealistic timeline that pressured some into working extensive overtime long before the final push. CD Projekt declined to comment on the process or provide interviews for this story. So this, I mean, I kind of felt, I also saw that Jason did tweet out that the video that the CD Projekt CEO put out earlier this week was kind of like a response leading up to the release of this article, because apparently Jason did kind of reached out and said like, hey, I'm about to release this, blah blah. They think they kind of like saw that there was going to be way more downfall from this, because I mean, this article goes pretty into detail as to what like the development of Cyberpunk actually looked like, and it honestly didn't look pretty. It didn't look really good in from the developers' eyes. Like, as they said, like, it was a lot of unchecked ambition. It was a lot of promises made, but, you know, can they actually execute the promises? A lot of misinformation, a lot of miscommunication between teams, and this is something that you see happen a lot in big corporations. It's called siloing, and, you know, there's not a lot of communication between teams. There's really no processes set in place, so everybody's kind of like either doing somebody else's work when they're already making it, or there's something already in place that not a lot of people know about, so you end up doing more work. So I'm only speaking from personal experience, because I worked for a company like that. I used to work for a company like that, and like it's almost impossible to do anything in that sort of environment. And like, it's not necessarily a toxic environment, but it's a very mismanaged environment, and, you know, you don't get the results that you would expect to get, you know. In his message here, Jason further states, in his message, Iwinski concedes that the company underestimated the task. He said that because the game city was so packed and the disk bandwidth of old-gen consoles is what it is, it constantly challenged us. While the company extensively tested before the game's release, Iwinski said it didn't show many of the issues players experienced. Come on now. Developers who worked on the game argued otherwise, saying that many common problems were discovered. The staff just didn't have time to fix them. So, in the CD Projekt Red CEO statement, he does kind of throw the QA testers under the bus by saying these sort of things, saying that, you know, that they didn't experience these issues while they were testing it. And, you know, yeah, developers even came to the defense of QA testing, saying like a lot of these things were known. Like, we knew that this game was not ready to be released. It's a whole different thing that you just didn't listen to us, you know. So in essence, Cyberpunk's CEO making this video completely worked against them. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, if there's ever a time where you just need to shut up and fix your issues or fix your mess up, your fuck up, excuse my French, is now. Like, they always say, like, as they say, don't be sorry, be better, you know? And don't say my bad, just fix it, you know? Don't focus so long on what went wrong, just focus on fixing it, you know. That's the issue at hand. But, you know, miscommunication, I feel they just didn't have, they had big shoes to fill, but I think they just got too cocky. They were trying to ride the wave of success that Witcher 3 was, but they kind of didn't scope just how big Cyberpunk was. It has been confirmed that Cyberpunk actually only started development in 2016, even though it was announced in 2012. That's not enough. That's not enough time to develop a game of this size. Like, you need huge teams. Jason, even in this article, says that, you know, games as big as Cyberpunk, you know, that can be compared to scale, such as Red Dead Redemption 2, like, they take more than 4 years to develop. They take longer. They take half decades. They take longer than half decades. And they also take teams of up to 1,000 people. These are huge projects, man. Like, in video game development, the more I read on video game development, the more I'm convinced on the idea that a video game, in essence, is a miracle. Just the mere fact of a game being released is a miracle, just because of how much work, how much manpower it takes, and just how many, like, communication, like, there's so many turn points in which game development can go wrong, that for a game to be released is just, it's a miracle in itself. Here, this article, I'm just gonna skim through it. I already read a couple of times through it, but you know, I'll link it down below for you to read. Let's see. Studio head Studio head Adam Badowski took over as director, demanding overhauls to Cyberpunk's gameplay and story. For the next year, everything was changing, including fundamental elements like the gameplay perspective. Top staff who had worked on The Witcher 3 had strong opinions on how Cyberpunk should be made, which clashed with Badowski and led to the eventual departure of several top developers. Here, Jason also says that there was an issue. First of all, mismanagement of developing time, like mismanagement of resources, but also they were trying to create the engine in which Cyberpunk 2077 ran alongside the game. Like they were trying to build the fundamentals of the game alongside the actual game. You don't have to be a video game developer, a video game veteran to know that that's just disaster waiting to happen. I mean, you build a house, you gotta make the fundamental, you gotta do the fundamental thing first. You gotta either like, yo, I'm going on a whole different tangent, but my dad taught me a lot about construction, and I'm just trying to like fucking talk through it as an analogy, but I'll shut the fuck up for now. To add more fuel to the fire. Here, Jason further says, much of CD Projekt's focus, according to several people who worked on Cyberpunk 2077, was on impressing the outside world. A slice of gameplay was showcased at E3, the industry's main trade event in 2018. It showed the main character embarking on a mission, giving players a grand tour of the seedy, crime-ridden Night City. Fans and journalists were wowed by Cyberpunk 2077's ambition and scale. What they didn't know was that the demo was almost entirely fake. CD Projekt hadn't yet finalized and coded the underlying gameplay systems, which is why so many features, such as car ambushes, were missing from the final product. Developers said they felt like the demo was a waste of months that should have gone toward making the game. Jesus Christ, man. And to further speak, I further stated here about the studio head Adam Badowski. He recently just tweeted, literally from an hour ago from when I'm recording this. He responded to Jason's article, which is a completely terrible way on how to respond to these certain type of things. You know, PR 101. Shut up and fix the stuff. Do not respond. Like, if it's not for clarification, everything and anything that you say while you're still like the person being accused will be used against you. Adam Badowski tweeted, here's some responses to Jason's article. Jason's article said, fans and journalists were wowed by Cyberpunk's 2077's ambition and scale. What they didn't know was that the demo was almost entirely fake. Adam responded, it's hard for a trade show game demo not to be a test of vision or vertical slice 2 years before the game ships. But that doesn't mean it's fake. Compare the demo with the game. Look at the dum-dum scene or the car chase or the many other things. What people reading your article may not know is that games are not made in a linear fashion and start looking like the final product only a few months before launch. If you look at that demo now, it's different, yes, but that's what the work in progress watermark is for. Our final game looks and plays way better than what that demo ever was. I don't know about that, Adam. As for missing features, that's part of the creation process. Features come and go as we see if they work or not. Also, car ambushes exist in the final game almost verbatim to what we showed in the demo. Again, no. And if we get a bit more, and I'm saying because I played the game, and if we get a bit more granular about our release, the vision we presented in this demo evolved into something that got multiple 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s on PC from many renowned gaming outlets in the world. First of all, I'm not going to go back into why this is such a dog shit response, because first of all, CD Projekt Red never gave reviewers console versions to review. So all those 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s were all on PC. This game was promised for last gen consoles, okay? You can't pick and choose like what reviews you get to pick and choose, you know? As for, here we go. So he says further, as for the old gen consoles, yes, that is another case. Okay. But we've owned up to that and are working super hard to eliminate bugs on PC too. We know that's not a perfect version either. And we're proud of Cyberpunk 2077 as a game and artistic vision. This all is not what I call disastrous. I mean, come on, man. 30% shares and you're being sued by investors and there's been class action lawsuits against you at this point. This is the definition of disastrous. Here, the article stated, most of the staff knew and openly said it wouldn't be ready for release in 2020. Adam responds, you've talked with 20 people, some being ex-employees, only one of whom is not anonymous. I wouldn't call that most of the over 500 people staff openly said what you claim. Again, let's survey the 500 people plus staff that currently work for CD Projekt Red and see what they're doing currently. Are they not fixing the game currently instead of working on DLC, instead of working on the next iteration for CD Projekt Red, whether that be Cyberpunk 2077 2 or The Witcher 4? Are they working on that? I don't think so. Okay, so ask your current developers to see what they think if the game was ready. You know, that is such a weird response from Adam. Honestly, like CD Projekt Red needs to invest in a PR team. You can't have the studio head replying. You can't have the CEO making statements like this. Jesus Christ. And then there was a whole issue on the article from Jason saying that, you know, a lot of foreigners were hired for CD Projekt Red to work in the Polish studio. They're from Poland. And there were cases in which, you know, some of the Polish workers would speak in Polish in front of the non-Polish speakers, and like it just became this whole issue of miscommunication and like people butting heads, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm not even gonna focus on that because even Jason states that maybe I shouldn't have focused on the language because it wasn't really a big issue, although, you know, miscommunication is a big issue. There was another thing I wanted to focus on this thing. There were also courage about the time of looking resume management said delaying was an option, blah blah blah. But in the end, management finally announced that Cyberpunk needed to be delayed, etc., etc. Many of the glitches and graphical issues can be fixed, developers say, though it's not clear what it will take to regain a spot in the PlayStation Store. Winning back fans may be difficult, but there's precedent in the video game world. Games like No Man's Sky, a space simulator, Final Fantasy XIV, an online role-playing game, and Destiny, a multiplayer shooter, recovered from rocky launches and earned critical acclaim by gradually improving after they released, and the market seems to be hopeful. CD Projekt shares rose 6%, the most in 6 weeks after Iwinski's message. Now, I mean, that's probably just people buying the dip. Shout out to all my stock people out there. That's normal. Whenever a stock loses value, people start buying the dip because it's basically expected for that stock price to rise. You know, people make a little money here and there. But yeah, like, first of all, CD Projekt Red needs to shut up. They just need to not say anything. They've said what they've said. They tried to defend themselves. It doesn't work for them because the game is still incomplete. Like, they just gotta follow these studios that they're talking about. You know, they gotta talk about No Man's Sky. You know, they just kind of lay low and worked on their game, and, you know, just not say anything else. That's all there is. Like, what else are you looking for? Like, you need to focus on your reputation, and the only, you know, people say actions speak louder than words. Like, you just cannot continue letting your employees reply on the company's behalf, because first of all, you're gonna piss off the investors, and you already don't want to piss them off. They're already suing you. Like, what the hell? But yeah, it's not looking good for CD Projekt Red. I honestly hope the developers get a bigger slice of the pie, a bigger slice of the cake, because Jesus Christ, you guys are carrying CD Projekt Red on your backs. Honestly, shout out to you if you're a developer at CD Projekt Red, if you're a quality assurance tester, if you're anybody who's not management, shout out to y'all. because Jesus Christ, I cannot imagine working under those conditions and under those people, man. But let's move on. Let's go to something a little bit more lighthearted. For our second news item of the week, we got finally more details on Bowser's Fury, the upcoming Switch game. What's the port? The Super Mario 3D World port, plus added content for the Switch port, which is Bowser's Fury. And also we got a new Switch design. We got a limited edition Mario Red and Blue Switch, which I am not gonna lie, I am very excited about this. Here we go. Let me show you the PR. By the way, if you're watching this on the visual podcast on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe it. My YouTube channel is True Fernie, and also you can just listen to this podcast on the go through the audio version on Spotify. We are on Spotify. Just search for Search and Report, and we will be there. Our logo is a little Game Boy, so you won't miss it. We're bringing you the best Game Boy news. Not really, just gaming news, but you know what I'm saying. Here, Business Wire reported. Sorry. This is just the PR, the media package that Nintendo gave out for this release. Unravel new possibilities in Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for Nintendo Switch. New footage revealed for the Bowser's Fury adventure, along with a first look at the Nintendo Switch Mario Red and Blue Edition system. Here you can see the Edition system, and I kind of like it. Like, don't get me wrong, red is not one of my favorite colors, but I gotta say, man, this looks really good. It looks really good. I'll say I really appreciate the red dock and also the red Switch. I don't necessarily like the combination of red and blue. It feels weird. It just doesn't feel, like something that's actually kind of, I don't know, cool, but whatever. But yes, Nintendo will be releasing Super Mario 3D World on the Switch plus the Bowser's Fury. You can call it a DLC at this point. Launching on February 12th for the Nintendo Switch family systems. Nintendo said, Nick Chavez, Nintendo of America Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, we hope players enjoy pouncing their way throughout their two great Mario adventures in Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, with lots of feline fun to be had whether playing solo or with family friends. And I will say, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this game because it's co-op. I've been dying to play a co-op game with my girlfriend, but I just haven't been successful in finding one. And both of us love Mario games, so I'm looking forward to this game. Like, honestly, I didn't get to play the Wii U version because I was poor back then. Let's keep it funky. But alongside the release of this game, there will be 2 new amiibo figures launching alongside the game, and they are available for purchase separately at select retailers. Both the new Cat Mario and Cat Peach amiibo will offer in-game enhancements for Super Mario World and Bowser's Fury. Now, yada yada, everything about this, yeah, it's great. It's gonna be a co-op game. It looks amazing. Yo, if you haven't seen the trailer, I implore you that you go watch it. It looks very interesting. It looks really cool. We get obviously a look at this new world, which is Bowser's Fury. There's a huge ass cat bell. I don't know. I didn't play, as I say, Super Mario 3D World, but I guess that turns you into a cat. There we go. There's Mario as a cat. If you're watching the video version, we're watching the trailer right now. I did see also a video in which people compared the Wii U version of this game with the Switch version. Well, at least the trailer, and it does look that Mario runs a lot faster on the Switch. So it'll be interesting to see if that makes the game easier. Like what does this mean for like speedrunners and stuff? Like, are they gonna have to choose like the Wii U version for the official speedrunning requirements, or like is the Switch version gonna be the new baseline or the new rule? We'll see. But apparently you got Bowser Jr. as a sidekick. Apparently you work towards killing Bowser Jr.'s father. But I will say, man, like, yo, seeing Bowser as a humongous beast is amazing. Like, seriously, I feel like Nintendo is currently on their like Gojira, on their Gojira time, or whatever you want to call it, like era, because you've had Dark Beast Ganon, you got this humongous Bowser. Like, yo, are we just gonna go with the, like, are we gonna start seeing like mecha, like huge beasts fighting each other, huge robots and shit? Like, imagine Metroid Prime getting like a humongous Ridley. That would be scary as hell, man. But yeah, here, another thing, you can turn Mario turns into a Super Saiyan Mario. That's amazing, yo. You are a humongous beast. You are a humongous Super Saiyan in Bowser's Fury. And I swear to God, I am so excited for this game. Like, call me a Nintendo shill, but yo, at least Nintendo like doesn't lead up a game for 8 years. Shout out to CD Projekt Red. But this game will be releasing on February 12th, if I'm not mistaken. I already forgot. Yeah, February 12th. So be on the lookout for that game. Good things. It looks amazing. Like, honestly, that is a game that I'll be getting. On our third news item of the week, and this is a big one. This is a game I've been looking forward to for a long time. We finally got a release date trailer for Pokémon Snap, the new Pokémon Snap. And listen, man, first of all, this is amazing news for Pokemon fans, for Pokemon Snap fans, which I'll remind you all that we've only had one Pokemon Snap game, and that was back in the N64. It's been decades since the first Pokemon Snap came out. It's been at least 1 decade. Let's not exaggerate, but yo, I love that game. I remember every single part of that game. I replayed that game multiple times. Like, oh my God, trying to take pictures, trying to find like the rare Pokemon to take pictures of, like trying to evolve a Slowpoke using fucking, I don't even remember, like using apples and shit. That was the most stressed I've ever was as a kid. And I cannot wait to see how this new Pokemon Snap game plays. Because first of all, it looks amazing. The graphics in this Pokemon, let me play the trailer right now, just so I'm talking as we're watching it. The graphics look amazing. The Pokemons, the environment, everything looks amazing in this game. And it kind of enrages me. It pisses me off so much that Pokemon Sword and Shield was not able to look this good. Like, the mainline Pokemon games do not look this good. This new Pokemon Snap game was obviously developed by Bandai Namco, and I'm just gonna put it out there. The Pokemon Company needs to give Bandai Namco all of the rights. Just give them the developing rights. Just give them the license. They can develop the mainline Pokemon games, please. Like, seriously, shout out to Game Freak, but you guys got too much going on. Like, just give this to Bandai Namco, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this enrages Pokemon fans or whoever might be listening to this. But, like, seriously, this game looks gorgeous. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with this new iteration for a Pokemon game. Hopefully the features, like, of the game, you being able to change lenses. If y'all don't know, I am a photographer as a hobby. I mean, I used to get paid to do it, but kind of took a little break from that. I love photography, so if this game gives you the option to swap lenses, to mess around with the aperture, like, this is photo mode, the game. If the Spider-Man photo mode is way more detailed and way more involved and way more, gives you a lot more freedom to taking pictures than a literal Pokemon Snap game, a literal photography game, I will be enraged. And I think, I'm not going to say this is going to be the last Pokemon game I ever play, because let's be honest, all of y'all who say I'm done with Pokemon every single year, you're never going to be done with Pokemon. I hate to say it. I hate to admit it, but Pokemon's Pokemon. you're always going to be playing Pokemon. Like literally your grandchildren will be playing Pokemon generation 50, and you'll probably still be playing Pokemon with them. I'm sorry to say, they're the new Disney. Like I hate to say it, because damn, they got to step their game up, man. Those mainline games play terribly, Jesus Christ. But I'm excited for this new Pokemon Snap game. We did get a release date. It'll be April 30th. So shout out to all my children out there. If y'all don't know, April 30th is Children's Day in Mexico, at least. But this game will be releasing on April 30th. Pre-orders are already available. So if you're looking to get this game pre-ordered, they started on the 14th, so 2 days ago. So yeah, go ahead and get it. I'm excited. I'm not gonna pre-order it though. I learned my lesson. But yo, shout out to Pokemon Snap. I did not expect it, but I will say this paints a very, very interesting picture for other franchises and other IPs that have not gotten a second game or another iteration in their franchise. And I'm looking at F-Zero and Star Fox. If Pokemon Snap can get a game, I can't remember how long, like 15 years, probably more than 15 years since the first release, I'm sure an F-Zero game can get another game. But that's a whole different topic. Like, you got to look at, you know, if it's gonna eat into Mario Kart sales, if it's gonna eat into, I don't know, it's gonna cannibalize other IPs, I don't know, other racing games from Nintendo, I don't know. But I'm excited. For our fourth news item of the week, by the way, this is gonna be a beefy episode podcast. I don't know if you already noticed, but there's a lot to cover on this podcast, and I'm going a little bit quick through all of these, because I know you can only listen to my voice for so long after it gets annoying. But we did get an announcement from Bethesda on a new game. A new Indiana Jones game with an original story is in development from our studio Machine Games. First of all, what did I just say? Stop announcing your games when they're not ready. I mean, this is probably just a teaser. They haven't said anything, so hopefully they don't talk about it as much, but we'll see, man. This will be executive produced by Todd Howard, shout out Todd, in collaboration with Lucasfilms Games. It'll be some time before we have more to reveal, but we're very excited to share today's news. They did release a little teaser here. It's just a desk with a bunch of books. The art style looks, you know, kind of like oil painty-ish. But hey, Indiana Jones fans, you got a game coming. You got a game coming being produced by Machine Games, by Lucasfilms as well. That's interesting. That'll be interesting. Like, yo, I can just say this is very interesting. Like, film games have notoriously not been very good video game, their iterations, but I am excited for this game, I will say. And another video game that's from a film that I'm pretty excited is Hogwarts Legacy, I think it's called. Hogwarts Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Harry Potter game. Yes, Hogwarts Legacy. Unfortunately, we did get an update from that, and apparently that game is not going to be released until 2022. So there were rumors that this game was going to be released in 2021, but now it is confirmed that Hogwarts Legacy will not be released until 2022. I might as well just put this in as part of a news item, but I just remembered because I was like, I tweeted out a list of games I was excited for this year. And Hogwarts Legacy was one of them, and literally an hour after I tweeted that, Hogwarts Legacy tweets this: "We would like to thank fans from around the world on the tremendous reaction to the announcement of Hogwarts Legacy from our Portkey Games label. Creating the best possible experience for all of the Wizarding world and gaming fans is paramount to us, so we are giving the game the time it needs. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022. Yo, I'm excited for this, but shout out to Game Studios again. Being unable to not announce their games literally months ahead before the release. Like, can't you just do it like Nintendo does? They just announce something 3 months ahead in time and then they release it. They leave the speculation. I know this is all because of investors. I know investors play a huge role in what gets announced and what doesn't, but y'all gotta y'all gotta learn from Nintendo. Like, I give a lot of shit to Nintendo, but one thing that they do well is their release date. Like, look at Metroid Prime 4. They just said, hey, we gotta scrap the whole thing. This game, like, we're starting over. And then they shut the fuck up. It's been like it's gonna be 2 years now since they announced that they were delaying the game, or they were scrapping the game. All the Metroid fans obviously they're losing their mind right now. They don't know what to think of. They're speculating out the ass. But at the same time, like, you gotta handle your fans' expectations. You know, we live in very interesting times. There's hyper communication, which is great. I would always say hyper communication from corporations is always going to be great. Transparency is always going to be great. But you gotta know how to handle expectations. You gotta manage expectations, man. That's a huge thing in business. Like, you can't overpromise and underdeliver. No, you gotta manage expectations. But there you go. 2 games to look forward to. 2 film games to look forward to. Indiana Jones, the game. We still don't have a title. And Hogwarts Legacy for next year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. On our 5th news item of the week, I believe this is 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5th. There's a new Star Wars open world game in the works. Here the Wire tweeted. Important. After almost 8 years of exclusivity with EA, Lucasfilm's games will be joining forces with Ubisoft to create an open world Star Wars game, and that's just the beginning. As we all know, Star Wars had exclusivity to EA games, and it's been a mixed bag with EA. As we all know, they're not necessarily the best at the gaming world. Well, let me take a little sip of this tea because it's getting kind of cold. Ow. I hope you don't mind me swallowing straight into the mic. Pause. Here the Wire reported Lucasfilm's games new partnership means the galaxy's the limit. The Disney-owned company just announced a new Star Wars title coming from Ubisoft and an Indiana Jones from Bethesda. What did I just say? And that's just the beginning. Today, Lucasfilm's Games announced that it's entering a partnership with Ubisoft to create an open-world Star Wars game. The title will be developed by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, marking the first time that a company outside of EA has produced... Excuse me, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, yo, that creeped up out of nowhere. The first time that a company outside of EA has produced a Star Wars game since Disney acquired Lucasfilm in 2012, ending nearly 8 years of exclusivity. Development on this new title is still very early. Massive is still recruiting for the project even, so details are sparse. Julian Garrity, yo, y'all gotta get simpler last names to pronounce. I say that my last name is fucking weird to pronounce. Director of the Division 2 and the crew will serve as the game's creative director, and the title will use Massive Snowdrop engine. Beyond that, Lucasfilm Games hasn't revealed anything about the characters or settings within the Star Wars universe that the game will feature. Yo, this is huge news. As I always say, developers, video game companies, they need to expand their development team. Like, the way Microsoft has been approaching development is amazing, and now that Nintendo is acquiring studios, as we now know, with Next Level Games, is amazing. Because as much as you want to, create your games in-house, it's probably not for the best, as we know. Shout out to CD Projekt Red. But here the Wire further states, after this story initially published, an EA spokesperson reached out to Wired to provide the following statement. We are proud for a long-standing collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, which will continue for years to come. Our talented teams have created some of the most successful games in the history of the Star Wars franchise, because you've been the only ones. Our talented teams have created some of the, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and Star Wars Squadrons. We love Star Wars and we look forward to creating more exciting experiences for players to enjoy. This is great news, you know. This doesn't necessarily mean that the Star Wars franchise is no longer going to be developed by EA. They're still probably going to be part of the development team for Star Wars. But this looks amazing. You know, it looks very interesting. I wonder how an open world Star Wars game is going to work. I'm thinking, this is just speculation, but I think if they approach it, you know, it's going to be by Ubisoft, but if they approach it and create kind of like a combination between an Assassin's Creed game and a Starlink game, Battle for Atlas, as far as like traveling in between worlds, I think they can make a great game. I think they can make a Star Citizen / type of game. And knowing Ubisoft and knowing Lucasfilm's games, I know they can produce this huge undertaking. But it'll be interesting to see. An open world Star Wars game is something that I feel we've kind of needed for a long time. I think the story, you know, the fundamental content that is Star Wars lends itself for an open world game. Obviously, it's in space. Like, what else do you need? The Wired here further stated this new non-exclusive arrangement for Star Wars games, as well as the rest of Lucasfilm's library of franchises, leaves open the door for developers to pitch their own ideas for stories to Lucasfilm's games. Lucasfilm Games, I can't, my S's are too much essay, you know what I'm saying? We get no shortage of folks knocking on our door wanting to play with our toys. Chill. Douglas Riley, BP of Lucasfilm Games, told Wired. Among that camp is Todd Howard, the famed director of Skyrim, among many other games, who is also a huge Indiana Jones fan. What's been most inspiring about the indie game in particular is it's a passion project for Todd Howard. Woof explained. He came with a point of view and a story that he really believes in. Of course, these franchises are still, in Riley's words, Lucasfilm's toys, and they want to play with them too. So ultimately, Lucasfilm games will have the final approval over everything. But however, they are no longer exclusive to EA, which is amazing. It's great. I am just looking forward to this game. We'll see. It feels like Lucasfilms, it feels like Star Wars is kind of like finally finding its steady foothold in the gaming world, with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, with Battlefront 2 like still being one of the top contenders for multiplayer games. Like, I feel they're getting there. For our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for our 6th news item of the week, we got Capcom. Capcom reveals a Resident Evil Direct. This one is an exciting one. I am not necessarily a horror video game fan. I'm not a horror fan at all, if I'm being honest. I just hate being scared. But Capcom Europe did tweet this. Don't miss the Resident Evil showcase on January 21st at 10 p.m. GMT, 11 p.m. CET. That's Central European time. Join Brittany Brombacher, Blonde Nerd, on a guided tour of Resident Evil Village, including a new trailer, first ever gameplay, and lots more Resident Evil news. It's gonna be interesting. The little teaser that they put out looks very, very good. It looks very creepy. It looks different. Like, it's, first of all, it's a first-person Resident Evil game, and as we all know, Resident Evil games are usually third-person. So I think it's an interesting approach, but You know, Resident Evil can always surprise us. They've surprised us in the past with the remakes. So it'll be interesting to see. People have been losing their mind, by the way, with this tall vampire lady, whatever you call them. Like, literally, people have been simping over her. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me what people will simp over every single time, every single day, man. Twitter amazes me. I'm not shaming anybody, but yo, can y'all just chill? I feel y'all are just always horny at all times. Jesus Christ. But yeah, be on the lookout for this showcase / people have been calling it the Resident Evil Direct. Shout out to Nintendo for creating directs, apparently creating video showcases. But this will be happening on January 21st, which I believe that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's this Thursday, this upcoming Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I believe that is 4 p.m. Yeah, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout. I'm definitely going to look out for this. They will be obviously showing a new trailer, gameplay, and more Resident Evil news. So it might just not be the Resident Evil Village. It might be something more. It might be a little bit more. You know how Capcom loves to release their stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. Interesting stuff for a Resident Evil fan. I think like I need to pull the trigger, man. I gotta get over my fear of horror games, because people keep telling me like the Resident Evil remakes are some of the best remakes of this generation. I don't know. People have been playing the hell out of the remakes and they say they look great. They say they play amazing. I don't know. We'll see. But I do have to get on my fear, because I feel I'm missing out on some quality games. But yeah, if you're a Resident Evil fan, be on the lookout this Thursday. And now for our final news item of the week. Yo, as I always say, and there's a reason why I put this at the end. But as I'll always say, I do not like to report on rumors, because if something is not confirmed, then it's not true to me. Okay? But as y'all have seen with my Nintendo Switch Pro rumors videos, I sometimes I just put it out there for y'all to see. Maybe you didn't see it on your timeline. Maybe y'all didn't weren't paying attention. But if you follow me on Twitter @TrueFernie, you more than likely saw this next news item. There are some rumors that there is a Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes in the works. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Nothing is confirmed, okay? Nothing is confirmed. There might as well not be any remakes in the making right now, but I'm putting this out there for just information purposes. You as a Pokemon fan, be excited for Pokemon Snap. Just take this with a grain of salt. Don't even react to what I'm about to say. But here, VideoGamesChronicle.com says, report claims Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes could release this year. Switch remakes could coincide with Pokemon's 25th anniversary, it's claimed. A fan site, Central Pokemon, claims to have been informed by sources close to the Pokemon Company that it will announce the games in February to coincide with the franchise's 25th anniversary. Originally released in 2006, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were the first installments in the 4th generation of the Pokemon video game series. It's claimed that the remakes will hit Nintendo Switch in 2021 and feature classic capture mechanics as opposed to those featured in Pokemon Let's Go. Potentially lending weight to the report is Central Pokemon discoveries that a diamondpearl.pokemon.com domain has been enabled. The URL currently returns a 403 error, meaning access to the requested resource is forbidden, but it may suggest that the Pokemon Company has created blocked content under Diamond and Pearl names. There is an update. The diamondpearl.pokemon.com web address has now been taken down. And I will say to this, anybody, and I say anybody, can create .biz, .net, .photography.com web URL addresses. Like it's something that's not exclusive to these big companies. Like I can go out and, you know, like I said, I used to do a lot of photography. I can go out and create my and like claim a URL for truefernie.photography, and that will bring them not necessarily to a website. It'll probably link them to my photography reel, which is just my Instagram account, you know, my photography reel, my photography portfolio, which would just be my Instagram account. So like I said, take this with a grain of salt. Just because there is a diamondpearl.pokemon.com domain, it does not mean that it's an official Pokemon domain. Okay, so just saying. Here the original story continues from Video Games Chronicle. A noted Nintendo insider who has previously leaked accurate timings related to Nintendo Directs also recently claimed that Pokemon Remakes will be released in November of 2021. Mainline Pokemon installments Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, and Sapphire and Ruby have all been remade, so 4th generation Diamond and Pearl is theoretically next in line for the same treatment. Now, Sinnoh remakes, people have been speculating about these remakes, you know, ever since the Ruby and Sapphire remakes came out. And this is just my opinion. This isn't based on anything that I've seen or anything that I read, but I doubt that Pokemon, you know, from just the what do you call it? Bro, I always forget this word. The flashback? No, not the flashback. The lashback? The backlash. Jesus Christ, man. I can't believe I have a podcast and I can't fucking speak basic English. Jesus Christ. The backlash. Jeez, I already forgot it again. Damn. I think that Pokemon saw the backlash from Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I kind of feel and I hope that they will take their time with the next mainline or the next generation of Pokemon. Now that they got Pokemon Snap, now that they got, you know, the DLC for Sword and Shield out, I feel they're now gonna start working on the next generation of Pokemon. But I think them releasing the remakes for Diamond and Pearl would be a very good move, because that gives them more time. It gives them probably a year or so for them to continue, or no, basically 2 years now, or 3 years, because, you know, if Pokemon Sword and Shield, the DLC released in last year, it gives them like a year, almost 2 years for them to release the next mainline Pokemon game. So I feel like them remaking and releasing Diamond Pearl would be a great strategy, a great business strategy. As we all know, like there's been speculation that this game would not be coming out in the Let's Go capture mechanic. It'll be more of like the mainline Pokemon capture mechanic, the battle system. Which, I mean, I don't really have a preference. Like, I will say that I didn't mind the Let's Go capture mechanic. Like, I feel it kind of streamlines the gameplay a lot more. It makes Pokemon games a little bit more enjoyable for me. I am a casual Pokemon player, so don't take it with a grain of salt. I'm sorry I wasn't sharing my screen, but here's the article. But if the remakes come out as a Pokemon Let's Go Diamond and Pearl, I would not be upset. As we all know, we recently got the Kanto remakes, so in a Let's Go type mechanics. So whatever comes out, I feel if they release the remakes, that'll be great. I think it'll help them in the long run. As we all know, this year is the Pokemon franchise's 25th anniversary, so they gotta go big, and they're going big. Like they're releasing Pokemon Snap, like a cult classic. So we'll see. We'll see what Pokemon has up their sleeve. As here, Video Games Chronicle further states, as we all know, the Pokemon Company began teasing plans for a very special upcoming celebration of Pokemon's 25th anniversary. As revealed on an anniversary website this week, the Pokemon Company will be collaborating with singer Katy Perry, releasing special merchandise and reprinting classic Pokemon cards. They're going all out. Like, they're going all out. They're going back. By the way, Katy Perry, a doubtful, a dubious choice for Pokemon. A Pokemon music representative. Like, shout out to Katy Perry. Like, I'm not hating on her. I'm not hating on her career, but if you tell me, like, yo, who do you think of as far as pop singer when they mention Pokemon? And I can assure you, it's not her. It's not Katy Perry. Yeah, she's the colorful and, like, you know, all like candy, like cotton candy type of singer, but I just don't think Pokemon when they say Katy Perry. And like, I tweeted a reply joke to IGN when they released this news. It was literally a picture of a person hitting the volume button down. Yo, the Katy Perry stands were in my mentions, bro. Yo, you Katy Perry fans, man, any kind of stands, y'all gotta chill, you know? People take like standing to a whole other level, man. People were disrespecting me. People were saying like you're not important. People saying like you can go die and shit. Like, yo, they weren't saying you can go die. That's not true. I'm just hyperbole, okay? Look it up, sweaty. But yo, y'all are out there. Y'all are out there. But we got Katy Perry. We got reprinting classic Pokemon cards. We got Pokemon Snap this year. So their main Pokemon game being released this year can either be A, which is a good choice, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, or B, the next line Pokemon game, which I think would be a bad idea, because as we all saw with Sword and Shield, Pokemon games need more development time, and they need to really think about how they want to kind of keep the series going. Because, yo, even though Pokemon Sword and Shield did great, like, you can't do that again. Like, you can't do that again. I think of it from my perspective. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but if a Pokemon game is released on the Switch, I buy it. I bought Sword and Shield because I wanted to check it out, because I grew up playing Pokemon. I grew up playing Pokemon Blue. I grew up playing Pokemon Yellow. I grew up playing Pokemon Ruby. I grew up playing Pokemon Gold. And like, even though I kind of like stopped playing Pokemon games, like, you don't want to lose. If I was Pokemon looking at it, I would not want to lose old fans because of how bad they did Sword and Shield. Like, if they were to release another mainline Pokemon and like do another mess up like Sword and Shield, you might lose a few people. Some of the casual players, I should say, because, you know, the Pokemon fan players, they're always going to be playing the Pokemon games, as I said. Bro, I'm just rambling at this point, you know. I'm just rambling, but there's some weight behind these rumors for the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. It'll be interesting to see what they actually put out this year. It is their 25th anniversary. Shout out to Zelda with their 35th anniversary. This year is going to be jam-packed for Nintendo, man. I really do hope so. I hope they release some great games. I hope if they remake some of the games from Zelda, from Pokemon, I hope they're good. Because damn, your boy needs a Zelda game, man. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I'm starving for a Zelda game. I am starving, bro. I finished Age of Calamity. I did my review and I was like, okay, cool. That was some good 35 hours. What's next? Shit, Nintendo's got me replaying Breath of the Wild for like the 5th time now. But it is what it is. But yeah, with that, folks, I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, if you like this podcast, please make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, True Fernie. If you're listening on the go, please make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify. Just search for Search and Report. Our logo is a little Game Boy, so you know that you're getting the best and latest gaming news weekly. As you all know, this podcast releases either on Sundays or Mondays each week. I try to keep up, but yo, Nintendo gaming news is just crazy every single week. But yes, y'all let me know what you think if you're watching the video version down below in the comments about CD Projekt Red's video response to this whole fiasco, to their response to this Bombshell article from Jason Schreier. In my opinion, they're doing it terribly. In my opinion, they should just shut up and keep fixing the game, because believe me, we all want to move on. We all want to move on to what's next. What do you think of Bowser's Fury? Are you excited? Are you also excited about this new Switch design? Are you gonna get it? I already bought 3 Switches. No, yeah, I already bought 3 Switches. I got my base Switch. I bought my girlfriend a Switch Lite, a pink coral Switch Lite, and I bought her the Animal Crossing Switch Edition. So as much as I want to get this Mario Switch Edition, I don't know if I can excuse it. I don't think if I can really convince myself to buy another Switch. as good as it looks, I just can't, man. What do you think of this new Pokemon Snap? Are you excited for it? I know I am. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to take pictures of Pikachu. Can't wait to take pictures of Squabble. Can't wait to take pictures of motherfucking Wooloo. Shout out to my main man Wooloo. Are you excited about this new Indiana Jones and Star Wars open world games? I don't know if the Indiana Jones is going to be an open world game. I doubt it. I'm sure it's going to be like an Uncharted game. But yo, shout out to Lucasfilms games, kind of like expanding their reach, ending their exclusivity with EA. Can only mean good things. As I always say, competition breeds amazing stuff for us gamers. Competition is always going to be good. Do not simp for monopolies. Are you looking forward to this Resident Evil Direct? What are you looking forward to this Resident Evil showcase? I need to stop calling everything that is a video transmission a direct. I am not a Nintendo shill, but if you're watching this, Nintendo, sponsor your boy. I'll stop cursing. Believe me, I'll stop cursing. Are you excited? Are you excited for this new Resident Evil Village game? What are you looking forward for this Resident Evil Village game? It is a first-person Resident Evil game, so they're testing new waters. We'll see how that plays out for them. And also, do you give any credence to this Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes rumor? Is it true? Are you looking forward to it? Do you hope it's true? Or what do you think the actual huge release for this year is going to be for Pokemon? I don't know. I just want to say I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Pokemon does next. I hope they learn their lesson from Sword and Shield, and I hope they just put some more thought behind their Pokemon games, because Jesus Christ, man. Shout out to Pokemon. Shout out to all my Poke fans. But with that, I've been Traferny. Please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. Keep wearing a mask. We're so close, y'all. We're so close. The vaccine is here, y'all. Just keep being responsible for like 3 to 4 months, and we're almost there. Believe me, we're almost there. We'll be out there playing Pokemon Go, and in no time. All right. But please take care of yourself. Most importantly. All right. Peace. See ya. Take care.